Hello everyone. Today we are going to rig this spider using the Second Life rig and Avastar inside a blender, of course. I haven't done a Second Life video in a long time, but this is a frequently requested video doing a custom avatar, and what could be more extreme than doing a spider, right? And I'm kind of using up most of the bones in the rig to do this, except for the excessive face bones. Um, so we're going to do a spider today, and of course, I don't expect everyone to be doing a spider. I'm basically showing concepts of how to do this and make the whole process a lot less scary for people. So, to start out, I always make sure my 3D cursor is set to world origin. So that's Shift S, cursor to world origin, and then I set my rig down. I don't need the full avatar with the skin and mesh and everything. So I'm just going to use the extended rig only with this. And of course, I'm using Blender 2.93, latest version, safe version right now, and a corresponding Avastar plugin for it. All right, so we have the rig there. I did scale up my model to be like a size that I want the avatar to be. And one thing to note, after you scale it up, you always want to apply rotation and scale before you ever rig anything to it. Now, we're not going to be doing any rigging today, but it's a note that would save a lot of headaches later. Always is, even if you don't think it does. All right, so we have the full rig, and I'm selected on the rig, and I go to the Avastar plugin. I like to use the plugin when it makes sense, at least for me, you know. And I'm going to go to joint edit. So now we're in joint edit mode. And I'm going to show a few more of the bones because I'm going to use these bones. Wings, hind bones. I'm going to use the tail. I might as well show the groin. Might as well bring it along. The face I'll show just to bring it along also. The spine bones, I don't really care. Hands, you know what, we'll just show most everything just so it comes along with what we're doing. They aren't just floating out in space. And now I'm trying to select everything except for the root bone. Okay, and I'm going to rotate it. Now that looks a bit goofy. Let's go up here and make sure we're on active element and then rotate it. Now I'm going to move this down, hitting G and then G again to kind of place it. I have a perfect side view if I hit 3. I always work in orthographic mode if anybody doesn't know that. At least while I'm working on something. When you're looking at it and evaluating it, you do want to go into perspective. But when I'm working, I always work in orthographic. Okay, so we have that cog bone kind of placed where we want it. So now I can start moving all the other bones. Now some of this I'll leave alone till probably the end. We might not even get to that, because that's just a point where the eyes are connected to, and you can make the eyes move back and forth. But with the spider, I don't even have eyeballs, so or pupils, at least. So now that we have that, for this spider, I'm not going to be using, I'm going to go to individual, just so I can select just that joint all by itself. Okay, because I know there's a torso bone and a chest bone here. So, and I don't want to use the torso bones necessarily. At least it shouldn't be a prominent bone, because most of the bones are attached to the chest. The wings are attached to the chest. I'm pretty sure the hind bones are too, or maybe they're attached back there. It'd be better if they were too. We'll see. But now I'm going to move the chest kind of in place, and I want to select everything that the chest is kind of select or attached to or controlling. And let's move that kind of into place. We don't really have a neck on a spider, so we're kind of go around the neck bone also. Select all those face bones, and I guess I could select this too. And let's move this head. Kind of want it to rotate. Well, it's all kind of rotating weird. Why is that? There we go. So the head, that's the neck right there. And I guess it can slant upward. But I don't want... Alright, I guess I could. I don't want to make the neck that long. So I want to go like that. And then there is kind of a skull bone up here also. I'll end up selecting that too. Actually, I don't want... Those are ear bones there. I only want all of this. So I just want to change the angle of that head slightly. That head bone. So right there looks about good to me. And these face bones, I don't know exactly what I'm going to use. It's kind of probably not for this video. But I'll just place them in a way that it kind of makes sense for now, at least. Oops. I can kind of line the eyes up a little, I guess. I might use the eyebrows. I don't know. Yeah, might as well. Anyways. So now the main parts of the spider rig. Always make sure you go into tools and make sure you have X mirror on when you're editing sides, you know, two different arms and stuff, because it'll automatically move the other side. I want to go to individual. Yeah. That way I can see each bone. And I'm going between 3 and 7 on my number pad. And I'm just going to set this bone. I'm going to start this first bone a little further up the chain in this. Just to make sure I have enough bones near the end. I don't necessarily... I could actually move this bone up and down, which would make this look like it's moving. So that's fine. But I'm just thinking about how many bones I have left in the chain to have enough bones. Alright, so I'm going to try and select all of this at once and then move it and line it up here. And then I can go -1 for that next set, and then -1 again, and G move. Just like that, and make that at the end. Move that. That looks about right. This is there. Alright. That looks not bad. All right, that's the arms, both of the upper arms there. Now these are the wings. Do I have a wing root bone? Yes. Okay, so that's the wing root. We'll just set this in the middle of the chest somewhere. And then here's the start of the wing chain. And again, I'm going to start kind of late in the actual legs. Just because I want more movement. I want to make sure I have enough bones to get enough movement in those ends. Okay. Start there. I'll go and I'll just start using my views and setting these by hitting G. Maybe I'll grab all of that and go there and then there. And then I'll have to bring it down. Now, one issue we're going to look at in a little bit, real quickly, that's the root right there. The issue will be bone roll, because we're really kind of twisting these bones around in weird ways. So, where the bone, which direction is, you know, X and Y and Z, kind of gets messed up. At least from its maybe optimal location. I'm using the hind bones as the second row of legs in the spider. Let's do this quickly. So here, 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 and yep, just enough bones. And then we have, oh, we got to make sure, get this view. That looks slightly off. Alright. Now, the back legs. Alright, so I'm going to start that there. Move that there. That's there. There. And there. And this is just like some toe bone. I'll just move it over here just for the hell of it. This a little, and here, and there we go. That's basically it. And we have this tailbone, so let's select all of that. I'll go to active. I'm gonna move this. And I'm going to kind of line it up close to the COG, just because I'm really not going to use the pelvis at all. And then this abdomen on a spider doesn't really move a whole lot. But we can give it maybe one segment, and then something else I have in here is I'm just trying not to select other bones. maybe I'll give it a few segments. But I want at least 3. Actually, I think that's enough. And I'll put this one right at the end and make this one. I gotta go to individual to see where the bone is. There we go. Alright. Now, inside of this tail here, or this abdomen, or whatever you want to call it, of the spider is a spider web. So that's why I wanted a few extra bones to kind of make that kind of make the web move around with, and it could be wiggly or whatever if you have at least a few bones. So I'm just trying to line up those bones. I'm hitting Alt or Control minus to get one less bone in the chain that I've selected. Alright, and then Alt minus, and then the end. So I might adjust that, but it looks good enough for now. And I think that's basically it for putting the skeleton together for the spider. But bone roll can be very important. Let's go and select this, and then where are we? I want to show position. So you want to go to, while you're in edit mode, you want to go to your running guy in the properties window. Make sure you check axis position. It'll also show rotation. I mean, so it's not only showing that. So you can see what the rotation is and what is facing what. So now, most of the time when I animate, I like my Z to be, or not Z, X, to be the one that rotates when I'm in side view. Okay, so that's the issue. You want to try and place X at the top, basically, of your thing. And the way you control the roll is by this roll on the right hand side. You want to rotate this to be X up. X up. There we go. Now the next bone, I think it's already telling us what the next bone is, but there we go. So now we want to roll this X up. And I'm just looking, I'm trying to look down the nose of the bone, and I know that this direction is up, so I can just roll that X to be up like that. And they don't, you know, they don't necessarily have to be perfect. Why is that? Oh, because I tried to do it manually. You gotta use the bone roll here. Okay, there we go. And because we're mirroring everything, it should be doing it on the other side too, I hope. All right. So X up. X up, X up. Okay, there we go. And even though I don't want it to necessarily be X up here, I still, when I look straight at a side view of each one of the bones, I want X to be the one that rotates it and bends it perfectly. Okay. Now, I I could adjust this one, even though I probably am not using it necessarily. Okay. So let's go down the next set of bones here. And X up. X up. Then the next set. X up. There we go. And oop, gotta do the roll. There we go. And the last bone. And I'll kind of show you, hopefully. You never know. Sometimes you do this stuff and then you go to show the result and it's totally wrong. Alright, so let's go into pose mode. And I can kind of show you what I mean here. Okay. So I think it's actually backwards here. Yeah. I think it's kind of... But when I rotate this, this is going to be Z. It's showing me Z. Which is fine, I guess. Z is the one that's rotating the most. You see that? And that's the second bone chain, though. This one would probably be the most. Yeah. And then maybe we could show this in a different way. I think... there we go. I think this... Doesn't this show bone? I don't know. Anyways, I'm sending everyone down a goose trail. But that's how you kind of adjust, at least adjust bone roll so it's done in a consistent way and you have consistent results when you're animating. But that's a look at how to... Oh, I got one more step I want to show. A lot of times after I'm done, before I rig the character, I will go in and go into the posing section and I'll just check this. Okay. And it kind of just applies everything, all these bone movements to the rest pose or to the default pose. Sometimes I'll do you can do the IK too, but usually I'm not going to end up using the IK, so it doesn't really matter. But I usually end up doing that when I'm done editing the character. So, but that's a look at how to add, edit, and do a custom rig. Have a good one, everyone.